On today's show, we're going to talk about a little bit of a different topic, but it's something that, as I explain it, I'm confident you'll see how important it is. And we're going to talk about how to forgive yourself for past mistakes so your business can grow a lot faster. This is such an important topic. It's something that I've taken quite a while to learn and go through myself, and I've helped a lot of our clients go through it as well. So I'm really excited to share it with you today. I'm Gabe Arnold, and this is the Green Mountain Podcast. We are the champions who brave the elements to create beauty. We see chaos and create order. We are never afraid of hard work, and we understand the power of strategic thinking and intentional actions. We come from all walks of life, and we will never allow our past to determine our future potential. We create beauty around the homes of our customers and increase the value of our community with the work that we do every day. We understand the power of consistent branding because it helps us grow and serve all those around us. We practice effective sales so our company, employees, and community can benefit from the value we add. We intentionally invest in operational habits that help us deliver excellent results to our customers on a continual basis. We understand that powerful and beautiful things take time to grow, and with consistent watering and intention, amazing results can happen. We are committed to making the world a better place by being positive examples to all those around us. We don't allow anyone to look down on us because we know the value we bring to our community as leaders. We create positive workplaces for our employees so they feel safe and supported, and at the same time, we hold ourselves to high standards. We pursue excellence on a daily basis because we know the journey is worth the sacrifice. We are the protectors of the land. We are the guardians of beauty. We are the heroes. We are landscapers. So 15 years ago, it was a really, really challenging season in my life. And I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but I probably will talk about it again too, because I've learned so many lessons from it. But I had a really successful multi-million-dollar contracting company. And I thought it was really successful. And there's pieces of it were, but in my mind, I was top of the world. Everything was going great. And then in 2007, early in the housing market crash, some of my clients had really big projects going with us, but they had their credit lines frozen by the bank, which led to me being stuck for $250,000. And then I didn't know how to recover from that. I didn't have good financial management. I didn't have savings. I didn't have the right type of credit in place. And so I went bankrupt in just a matter of 3 or 4 months later. I went bankrupt for $1 million. And at the same time, I was getting divorced. My grandfather passed away about 6 months after that. And in the middle of it all, my childhood best friend, who, his parents really were a big part of raising me too, he passed away. And it was just one of the most painful, difficult times in my life. And I think that all of us have gone through hard things. And something that I realized in the last couple of years is that your hard is hard. It doesn't matter if your heart is the same as mine. You went through a really difficult time. Maybe you lost a few accounts and it was really, devastating and discouraging. Maybe someone passed away that you care for. Maybe you did go bankrupt, or maybe you got fired from a job you didn't think you were going to get fired from. And now you've made the decision to go out on your own and brave, the entrepreneurial journey. But all of us have had really hard things, and there's no comparison of hard. It's just the fact that it was really hard in the moment for me because I hadn't experienced that. And whatever you went through, no matter if it was way worse, by comparison, or way less, in that moment, it was really, really hard. And so as I started to recover from that and started to realize, what can I do next? How can I, continue to live and pay my bills? I went through a really, really difficult time. But I realized, being like a year or two past that I was really judging myself, and I was really hard on myself about all the mistakes I'd made in the business. And I didn't understand finances, and I didn't really manage my subcontractors well. And I didn't understand employee, taxes and benefits, and all these problems that I had created for myself. I was really negative about it as I talked to myself about it and thought about it. And I just really was hard on myself and judged myself. But as I started to realize that the more that I thought about that and focused on that, the more discouraged I would get, the more depressed I would get. It just created this really, really heavy emotional weight. But one day somebody said to me, they said, Gabe, like, you did the best you could. I think you should forgive yourself. I think you should move forward. And as I asked him, I was like, no, I screwed up. Like, I should have known better. And he said, well, did you know better? Had anybody explained financial management to you? Did you have anybody come in and tell you how to operate the business profitably? Did you understand, did somebody coach you, or did you have past experience with employees and with big contracts with customers? I said, no. I said, I was just trying to figure it out on my own because there wasn't anybody to help me. Because when I was young, I didn't really get great support from my parents. My grandfather stepped in a big way and was a huge help, but he wasn't able to be there all the time, and my best friend's parents really helped me, but I still was just not really well supported, and I didn't have that knowledge. And so my friend said to me, he said, well, it sounds to me like, Gabe, that you did the absolute best you could with what you knew at that time. And so if you did the best and you were really coming at it with the best intentions, then I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't forgive yourself and move on. And I just sat with that, and it really hit home with me. And it was the first time that I took a step and forgave myself a little bit for some of the things that happened that I just didn't know better. And I was trying to do the right thing, and I didn't know better. And I think a lot of us, when we've gone through a hard time, or we've had a big mistake that we've made, or we've done something that we look back and think, man, how could I have been so stupid? Or how could I have missed those signs? Or how could I have made such a huge mistake? That type of self-talk, or thinking that way in our head, what happens when we do that, is we're actually just building up negative pressure and negative emotions. And when we have that weighing on us, it makes it harder for us to move quickly and decisively and in a positive action. It makes it harder for us to be brave again and try something new with our new knowledge and our new experience. I'm grateful to say that I never have made those mistakes again that I made back in 2007. I learned a ton. And now I look back and I feel like it was one of the most valuable times of my life. And I also look back and I forgive the younger version of myself. And today, whatever your heart is, if it's you're having a hard time in your relationship, with your spouse or your partner, if you're having a hard time with employees, if you're really having a hard time with some customers, or if you're just having a hard time, and you're not sure why and you're discouraged, I want you to know that I understand it's hard. It doesn't matter what level of hard you want to measure it against. It's still really hard for you. And a lot of that kind of pent up emotion and discouragement and being negative and hard on ourselves comes from not forgiving ourselves for the mistake that we made when we didn't know any better. I think there's a different kind of mindset or thing we have to think through if we intentionally went and tried to screw up our life. But I don't think a lot of people do that. I really believe that most of us come into this world and try to do the best we can, try to grow and learn, and try to really help the people around us. And if we allow ourselves to be buried in the negative thoughts, the negative emotions, and we don't actually intentionally sit down and think it through and forgive our younger self and forgive ourselves for the mistakes we made, then we get stuck in that place. And emotionally, mentally, we keep being in a state of fear or being negative or trying to, dog on ourselves about all the stupid things we did. And then our business gets stuck. But the moment that we can go, you know what, generally, or in this scenario, I did the best I could with what I knew. And that was good enough. And I learned a lot from it. And if you forgive yourself from that, you get to let go of all that weight. You get to let go of all that guilt and maybe that shame you feel. Because depending on how you're raised, I was raised in a manner that I really felt guilty when I did things wrong. And I had to learn to let go of that and process through that. And when I did that, my business started to really, really grow a lot faster because I was moving with ease. I wasn't discouraged, or like I didn't have things in the background of like, man, you're so stupid, you're not going to be able to do this either. I let go of all that and I really processed through it, both by just being intentional and thinking it through. But I also, talked to some business mentors. I went and saw, a therapist. I did the work because I didn't want to be the one in my business that was holding everyone back because I didn't, know how to forgive myself. And so it's a little bit of a heavier topic today on Friday, but I wanted to share this with you because I want to encourage you to take time to just think back and say, did I really do the best I could with what I knew? And is it okay to forgive myself for those mistakes I made when it was hard? And is it okay to forgive myself for the things that are hard right now that I'm doing the best at, that I'm not doing perfect at? When you take that time to forgive yourself and love yourself, you can change your state. You can change how you show up. And by being positive and by letting go of those things, as you work through it yourself, as you get help from friends or mentors or coaches or a therapist, those are things that make a huge difference, and it makes life better because we let go of that pain and we open up to being in a state of abundance and being able to accept all the good things that should be coming our way. So my encouragement to you today is forgive yourself, let go of that past stuff, and it's going to help you move forward. I appreciate you taking time to tune in today. I look forward to seeing you next week on the show. If you're ready to begin your journey up the Green Mountain, where we show you how to build a low-stress, high-profit, $10 million per year landscaping company, then head over to landscapemarketinghero.com to download your free growth map. One of our guides will be there to help you along the way. Again, that's landscapemarketinghero.com.